And now for the 450 podium, Jason Anderson will not be joining us for the podium, for the press conference, dealing with some altitude sickness, so he's elected to pass on this. Also want to make a quick note and a huge thanks to the Utah Sports Commission for everything. Second place on the night on the Red Bull KTM, Ryan Dungey. And the winner in Salt Lake City on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, Eli Tomac. Ryan, you were able to get into the lead pretty early, open up a nice gap. At what point did you find Eli on the track and kind of recognize where he was and was able to follow his progress?
From the first, I'd say 1 through 5, I seen where Eli was at as I was coming over the finish line. He was a little bit deeper in the pack and everything. And then from there, I quit managing where he was at. And then I was actually kind of surprised. I was coming through the whoops. He was about to pass Jason, so it kind of caught me off guard. But as I was going through the whoops, in the beginning I was really good. All day it was tough, but in the beginning I found a good line, and then that line started to go, and I switched it. I started jumping, and I think that was a no-no. And Eli was running really good through the whoops, but so that chunk of the track right there, he's really gaining on me tremendously, and then I felt him come up the inside, of course, a couple times, but he was coming pretty quick.
Eli, congratulations on the win. Early in the main event, you kind of found yourself in a pack of riders, and once you got going one-on-one, you were able to make the passes pretty quick, but early stages, kind of find yourself bottled up a little bit. Was there ever a moment of panic where you were a little bit worried about the environment you found yourself in?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that position, it's pretty nerve-wracking, especially first lap and first straightaway down that rhythm section. There's a lot of guys, and everyone's tight, and everyone's banging bars, and it's not a position you want to be in. And even by lap 2, I think we actually went backwards on the lap chart. So, it was after that, it was just go time if I was going to make anything happen. So, wasn't a position I like to be in, but it was pretty cool. We were able to get it done and go to the front.
Steve Giberson with Vital MX. Eli, what's going through your head down the start straight? I think you said you had maybe 2 guys behind you coming into the first turn.
Well, before the gate dropped, I don't know who was next to me, but they flinched, and that caught me off guard. And then, I was late on the jump, and then was pretty buried. Surprisingly, the outside gates were kind of working tonight, and I went inside, and it didn't work. So I don't know. I was probably playing a little bit too much protection mode there. So, and it did bite me. I was second to last one in that turn.
This is for both you guys. Chad Mobley, ABC4 Utah. I think, like I said, you guys haven't raced here in a long time. You probably surprised a lot of the fans by the way you were racing in the first heat. I mean, can you talk about just the level of competitiveness between you guys? From the get-go.
I think, we're going to race each other pretty respectably. We're going to race each other hard, but, nothing that's going to be, out of control or really dirty. So it was just good, hard racing. And as you can see, we were going at it in the heat race and went at it in the main. And it was pretty cool to see the crowd, getting into it. And it was probably one of the loudest races I've ever been in.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have to say the same thing. We don't always end up in the same heat race, and that time we did. And I know when we were around each other, it was like the main event. Crowd was going crazy, so it was good.
Yeah, Dan Lamb, MotoXotics.com. Eli, through the whoops, it was an incredible run every lap. Was there anything you changed, anything you did different? I didn't notice all day that you were that fast through them.
No, I think the biggest difference was just, the skim option versus jumping, During practice, I think, we weren't even the fastest in that segment. It just happened to work out in the main, the skim was working.
Chris Cooksey, Thumper Talk. First off, great race. That was one for the ages, seeing you come from all the way behind. This is for you, Ryan. Mm-hmm. There's been some talk about a chase format next year, and I know you're going to decide by Vegas whether you're coming back next year. Would a chase format affect that decision?
No. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I personally like the setup we're in. I mean, it doesn't always come down to me and another guy or just two guys. You know, I mean, we're within 3 points with 2 rounds to go, and sometimes it don't even go to Vegas. And I know more times than not it hasn't gone to Vegas. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of changes that the sport's going to go with. And I mean, it's the points chase is one, the format's another. To me, you know, I hear these 10-lap races, and it's like, you know, tonight was a night that was, it's good when you have 20 minutes. You know, it tests you physically. You know, you have to go the distance. And I mean, it's just turned into, you know, I don't want to say it's going to turn into a circus, but it's just kind of just, it's getting away from like the core values of our sport. And I just feel like, you know, regardless of me, you know, I feel like for the future of the sport, it's not the direction, and it needs to be more, you know, they're trying to fix something that's not broken. And when we get a good rivalry like we have, I think it's awesome. We've seen that tonight, and that's what it's about, good hard racing and excitement. So I don't know, it's interesting. But as far as your question, I know I got off topic there. You know, that's you know, to me, I want to go racing if my heart's in it and I still enjoy it and being involved, and I can, you know. It's getting to a point where it's mentally taxing after some years, and not to say I'm not enjoying it. I'm still here. I'm a top contender, you know, but you know, there's a lot of things I need to figure out. But right now, I don't want to think about it. I'm in the middle of something else, and I want to focus on that.
Steve Mathis, Motocross Action. And I know both of you guys were doing some testing outdoors, or at least Eli, I know you did. Question for both of you. How much motocross did you do, and did you just, because you're in this title chase, did you just want to get it out of the way and get back to Supercross? Or was it a fun little deal doing some MX testing?
I mean, we did a little bit, you know, but obviously we're in a pretty heated battle, you know, in a championship here. So I you know, spent the majority of my time on the Supercross track, you know.
Yeah. We did the whole first week of outdoors, which is kind of different for me. I kind of been the same. Like, I don't want to ride outdoors if I'm in this close of a hunt, but at the same time, I felt like a little change up and work on some other stuff, and, you know, outdoors is a little different. So yeah, we did a little outdoors the first week, and then back to Supercross the second week. Yeah.
Kristen Slack, Motocross Performance Magazine. In a crowd like the crowd that you raced in tonight, how does that play into your racing? So a question for both of you. Does it help you, or do you have total tunnel vision out on the track?
Well, you definitely know when somebody's right there. It's cool. I mean, I think it's exciting, you know, for me and Eli to be in a position that we're those guys racing and the fans are that into it. And I think I always want to make sure the fans have a good show, you know, aside from the racing and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I mean, just in the heat race, they were going nuts. So, and this is a smaller stadium from my understanding, but it's pretty cool. It's what you want to see, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You know, they were loud, and you know, like the heat race and the main, they were into it. So, you know, it was cool to see, and I think you know, the people of Utah and Salt Lake City really enjoy the Supercross.
Mm-hmm. Steve Giberson, Vital MX. Eli, I think the whoops were obviously a strong point tonight, but last time around here on a 250, I think it was a really bad night here. Did that enter your thoughts at all?
You know, that was a nightmare of a night. What was that, 2013? And, you know, a lot's changed since then. So, you know, that was a deal where we did a pretty major, you know, bike setup change then. You know, and the 250 days are kind of long gone. So, you know, right now we're really feeling it on the 450.
Stefan Legrand, thebigsa.com. This is for Ryan. There's 2 races left. What's going to take to beat Eli Tomac at that point?
Yeah, just win. You know, these 2 races are obviously important, and you know, there's it's within 3 points. You know, so it's really close. But you know, I just want to focus on, like I said at the beginning of the weekend, just executing and going out there. And you know, tonight was a good maybe not a reminder, but you know, it's come to the point where it's all the whole 20 minutes, you know, you have to lay it all out there and go intense, and we can't afford not to, as we saw tonight, or I saw. And but good starts, which was good. That was good to see tonight. Those were better, but it was encouraging. The whole day was really good. The bike setup was awesome. I just feel like from that left-hander going to the whoops to the left-hander after, that chunk, I just gave up everything, you know, but it was good to know everything else was solid and on point, so we'll try to fix a few things and just really execute and put ourselves in a position to win and fight like hell, you know. I mean, Eli's riding really good. He's strong and physically fit, and so we need to be there. And yeah, it'd be nice to get a win. And tonight, you know, aside from the championship or the points or anything, I really wanted that win. You know, I was really I was more bummed about that. And but that's the way it goes, and we'll see what we can do.
Mike Emery from Trans World Motocross. This is for Eli and both of you, but when you're coming through the pack, mainly Eli in your charge, this was a 27-lap race, so lappers play a pretty big part. Are you kind of finding lines everywhere, or did you know, how do you approach that when you're running fast lap times like that?
You know, tonight I mean, in the main, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought it was worse in the heat race somehow. You know, there were some moments there where me and Ryan were really close to guys, you know, in that rhythm before the finish line in the heat race. And, you know, in the main, you know, it seemed like they did a pretty good job of getting out of the way, you know, at least on my part when I was coming through. So, but yes, you definitely can run into them, you know, on a 27-lap race, you know, more than normal.
Chad Mobley, ABC for Utah. I mean, it's pretty unique. You guys come into Salt Lake City, 2 red plates. I mean, after such a long time of not having Supercross here, how cool is it to compete in a race like that in a city you guys don't come to often? And the other part of that question, this is for Eli. I mean, the whole season you've been chasing Ryan, chasing him. You're way behind tonight, and then you finally pass him. What was going through your head whenever you passed him tonight?
You know, I think first off, like I said before, it seems like Utah is pretty, you know, loud and proud for sports. So it was cool to see, you know, and you could hear him out there. And I don't know, it was just good hard racing tonight. And you know, we got 2 to go, and we'll do what we can do.
All right, guys, thank you.